Think modern amplifiers have already peaked? Many audiophiles would strongly disagree. Even in 2026, certain vintage amplifiers are still delivering a level of sound quality, warmth, and musical realism that newer, feature-packed systems struggle to match. Built in an era where engineering mattered more than marketing, these classics continue to prove their worth decades later. In this video, we're breaking down the top 5 vintage amplifiers in 2026 that still crush modern audio gear. From legendary build quality to timeless analog sound, each amplifier on this list has earned its reputation the hard way, through performance that still holds up today. Let's see which vintage legends are still dominating the audio world. Number 5. Marantz Model 8 Billions. The Marantz Model 8 Billions stands as one of the most revered tube amplifiers ever created, representing what many consider the ultimate expression of early high-end audio engineering and serving as a reference benchmark since its introduction in the early 1960s. Designed with a level of care and precision that set new standards for its time, the 8 Billions was never intended to be just another component in a system. Instead, it was engineered to define what accurate and emotionally engaging amplification could sound like in the vacuum tube era. Sonically, it is celebrated for its remarkably deep, layered, and almost holographic presentation, where music is rendered with a three-dimensional realism that allows listeners to perceive space, depth, and placement with striking clarity. Its imaging precision is exceptional, enabling vocals to float naturally between speakers with a sense of weightlessness, while individual instruments maintain clear separation, air, and spatial definition, without losing cohesion within the overall performance. From an engineering perspective, the Model 8 Billions utilizes premium output transformers and a meticulously designed circuit topology that minimizes distortion to extraordinary levels for a tube amplifier of its time, ensuring both fidelity and musicality coexist without compromise. Every aspect of its internal design reflects a philosophy of refinement, stability, and sonic purity, making it not only a product of its era, but a lasting standard against which other amplifiers are still measured. Even decades after its release, the Model 8 Billions continues to be studied by audio engineers and enthusiasts alike, not merely as a piece of vintage equipment, but as a historic reference point that helped define the very language of high-fidelity sound reproduction. Number 4. Sansui AU-717. The Sansui AU-717 represents a different philosophy from the more flamboyant amplifiers of its era, standing instead as a model of refinement through discipline, where the goal of engineering is not spectacle or excess, but sonic honesty in its most balanced form. Developed by Sansui during a highly competitive period in hi-fi history, the AU-717 was designed with restraint and precision, prioritizing accuracy and musical integrity over attention-grabbing specifications or visual theatrics. Sonically, it is widely admired for its neutral tonal character, which carries just a hint of warmth, allowing it to present music with clarity while avoiding the fatigue or sharpness sometimes associated with more aggressive designs. Its bass response is controlled and articulate, never overpowering the mix, while the mid-range remains natural and lifelike, giving instruments and vocals a realistic presence. The high frequencies are rendered with smooth detail, preserving clarity without introducing harshness, which contributes to its reputation as a highly listenable amplifier over long sessions. From an engineering standpoint, one of its most celebrated elements is its exceptional phono stage, often regarded as one of the finest integrated implementations of its time, making it particularly beloved by vinyl enthusiasts. The internal architecture adopts a dual mono layout approach, effectively separating channel pathways to minimize interference and enhance stereo imaging, resulting in a more precise and stable soundstage. This thoughtful design philosophy reinforces its reputation for accuracy and coherence. Over time, the AU-717 has earned a special place among audiophiles, often described as the amplifier that tells the truth, but kindly, reflecting its ability to reveal detail and fidelity without sounding clinical or unforgiving, embodying a perfect equilibrium between precision and musical warmth. Number 3. Pioneer SX-1980. The Pioneer SX-1980 stands as a towering symbol of the so-called receiver wars, a period in the late 1970s when manufacturers pushed engineering boundaries in pursuit of ever greater power, performance, and prestige, and it represents the moment where brute force was refined into a highly controlled form of audio engineering excellence. Released at the peak of this competitive era, it was not merely a receiver but a statement of dominance, designed to outperform rivals in both measurable output and real-world sonic authority. Sonically, the SX-1980 is renowned for its immense headroom, allowing it to handle sudden musical peaks without strain, along with deep, tightly controlled bass response and explosive dynamic range that gives music a sense of physical impact. Whether driving large floor-standing speakers or complex orchestral recordings, it produces a presentation that feels weighty, immediate, and almost tangible in the listening environment. From an engineering perspective, it was ahead of its time, boasting one of the highest output ratings of its era, supported by oversized power transformers, sophisticated heat dissipation systems, and high-current circuitry designed to maintain stability under demanding loads. Every internal component reflects a philosophy of over-engineering, ensuring not just performance but endurance and reliability at extreme operating levels. Over the decades, the SX1980s has achieved legendary status among collectors and enthusiasts, not only for its sonic capabilities but also for its sheer physical and visual presence. It is often regarded as more than an audio component. It is a monument to 1970s industrial ambition, representing a time when hi-fi design was driven by boldness, competition, and an uncompromising pursuit of power. Number 2. Marantz 2270. The Marantz 2270 emerges from the golden receiver era as one of the most celebrated symbols of 1970s high-fidelity design, a period when audio equipment was crafted not only for technical performance, but also for aesthetic presence and emotional appeal within the home. With its iconic champagne gold faceplate, precisely machined controls, and signature blue-lit tuning dial, the 2270 became instantly recognizable and helped define the visual language of vintage hi-fi systems, often occupying a place of pride in living rooms as both a music system and a piece of design art. Sonically, the receiver is revered for its smooth, gently warm tonal balance that makes it exceptionally forgiving across a wide range of musical genres and recording qualities. Rather than exposing flaws in a harsh or analytical way, it tends to soften edges and enhance musical cohesion, giving recordings a cohesive and inviting character. Vinyl playback, in particular, benefits from this presentation, as the 2270 adds a subtle richness and what many enthusiasts describe as a musical glow, bringing a sense of depth and emotional continuity to analog sources. From an engineering standpoint, its robust build includes a dual power supply design and substantial capacitor filtering, allowing it to maintain stable, clean output even when driven at higher volumes, contributing to both reliability and dynamic control. Over time, the Marantz 2270 has achieved legendary status among collectors and audiophiles alike, often regarded as the definitive expression of classic hi-fi sound. Balanced, warm, inviting, and endlessly enjoyable, with a character that continues to resonate across generations of listeners. Number 1. McIntosh MC275. The McIntosh MC275 stands as one of the most iconic names in audiophile history. Representing far more than a traditional power amplifier, it embodies a philosophy of listening that prioritizes emotional engagement over clinical precision. First introduced in the 1960s and later revived in carefully engineered modern reissues, the MC275 is built around classic vacuum tube architecture, a design choice that defines its unmistakable sonic personality. Rather than pursuing sterile accuracy, it focuses on musicality, producing a rich tapestry of harmonics, a deeply glowing mid-range, and a natural warmth that many listeners feel modern digital amplification struggles to fully replicate. Its sound character is often described as immersive and human, where vocals emerge with striking intimacy and presence, as if the performer is positioned directly in front of the listener. String instruments gain a tactile realism, revealing subtle textures, resonance, and body that enhance emotional depth, while jazz recordings in particular seem to unfold effortlessly within the listening space, creating the illusion of live performance inside the room. At the core of this performance lies its meticulously designed output transformers, carefully wound and shielded to preserve signal integrity and define the amplifier's tonal signature, a design element that has remained central across decades of production. Even in its modern iterations, the MC275 retains the original sonic DNA that made it legendary, bridging vintage engineering with contemporary reliability. Because of this enduring character, audiophiles often describe it not as a device to be simply listened to, but as an experience to be felt, where the boundary between listener and music becomes beautifully blurred. Each of these amplifiers represents far more than simple sound reproduction. They embody distinct eras of imagination, when engineers believe music should carry emotion as much as technical accuracy. From the glowing vacuum tubes of the McIntosh MC275 to the commanding power of the Pioneer SX1980, and onward to the refined balance found in the Sansui AU-717 and the Marantz Model 8 billions. Each design reflects a unique philosophy of listening. Together, they remind us that hi-fi is not just about measurement or clarity, but about experience. Great sound ultimately goes beyond hearing alone. It is something deeply felt, remembered, and lived.